Greetings, it's Vanessa-Mary. I'm back again. This is the second live that I'm doing for the week, but it will all make sense shortly. So thank you. We've already got people tuning in. Thank you so much for watching the live stream. This is Leading with Heart, and it is a podcast which is shining the light on the lives behind real leadership. My name's Vanessa-Mary, and I'm the founder of the Seeds community. And I like to have this space where I can have honest conversations with leaders in family-owned businesses. So they may be self-employed mums and dads. They may be working together in a family-owned business, or they may be in a supportive role, supporting business owners that fit that description. So what we do here, it's not about sharing perfect journeys. We're not having polished stories. If you've been watching these podcasts, you may hear me going off screen because my home educated little boy likes to come into the room. So it's not about being perfect, but we like to be truthful. We like to talk about the decisions. We like to talk about the real challenges which are supporting us to grow. We like to talk about the moments that are actually helping us to shape who we are becoming. So this episode is part of a bigger conversation because we are in the lead up to this year's annual summit. So it's called Seeds of Unlimited Success. Who would have thought I would have forgotten the name of my own event? But anyway, we'll talk about that shortly. Before we do, I'd love to introduce an amazing man. I'm going to bring him on. Here he is now. Andrew James Crawford, come and take the stage. Here he is. Oh, wow. Andrew's such a wonderful man. He is a chartered management tax accountant, but he's also a business coach, and he's also got such a brilliant sense of humor. Andrew, welcome back. This is the second conversation we're having together. Welcome back.
It's a pleasure to be part of the Seeds community. Yay. I know you've forgotten about your own seed because you planted it a long time ago, and so now it's taken fruition. It's growing through watering and keeping constant vigilance over what you have been doing. And obviously you planting the seeds, not just there, but you're actually planting it everywhere else as well. So do not be surprised.
You know that I've been busy. So he's referring to the little projects that I've got going off in the background. But actually, Andrew, what I wanted to share and also give my gratitude for is how you, when we met last year, you really understood the vision and the direction of travel, let's say, where I was moving towards. So you made that very clear when we met. But did you want to introduce yourself to those who are watching us? And if you are watching live, please do say hi. Let us know who you are. If you've got a question around business support, finance, take this opportunity to directly ask a question to Andrew. But Andrew, we've already got the first comment there. Andrew, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Andrew James Crawford, accountant, coach, author. Yeah, that's right.
And poet.
A poet. I classify myself a poet. I love all three. I love helping people. Obviously, I'm qualified because that's important because there's so many people out there who are not qualified. So qualified coach, qualified accountant. So I'm born and bred Londoner. I'm now in East Midlands, which is Newark. And so I work up and down the country because my clients happen to be everywhere at the moment. But I'm trying to build a sustainable business around the East Midlands area because then it's easier to travel. I help people develop their business. I help them do essential tax efficiency around their business and current and beyond. I help them develop new businesses from their existing business. And if they feel that they're an author or a poet, I'll help them on that journey as well. As Vanessa said, when I started out, I did not want to be a grey-coated bean counter, because that's what that's what we're actually say we are. So I've always tried to tell people I'm not an accountant. I'll just help people with their figures, and stuff like that. So, but accounting.
Excellent. Well, do you know, I didn't want to interrupt you. I was waiting to put this comment on. There would be a woman that you would recognize her name, Kay Reeve, very much part of the Seeds community. So look, what a lovely message she's written for us. Thank you, Kay. So she says, hi, great to see you both. I'm looking forward to catching up with you both at the summit. So Kay is referring to the annual summit, which is taking place again on the 23rd of May in Nottingham. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But thank you so much, Kay, for that warm message. I already have Zenta in the background. How lovely. Let me take this off. One moment, please. Oh, no, I think it's okay. I think it's going to leave me alone. But, just as I said in my introduction, this is my real life. I'm still working from home. But, Andrew, I am working on setting up another company. I don't know if I've really told you all about it yet, but put it this way, once that gets going, I will have my own office. I can't wait. It's such an exciting part of my chapter at the moment. But Andrew, as you know, I like to frame this conversation around the Seeds framework. So we start with the S. So we're going to talk about strategy, support network, and we're going to talk about sales as well. Now, with you sitting in both areas in terms of the finance and also business coaching, you can talk to us with whichever hat you want to. So talk to us about the strategy. So I'll just set the scene a little bit further. I have a limited company, but I am actually I've come into the tech world, Andrew. Yeah. It's literally so exciting. I do need to set things up properly. Yesterday, I had a wonderful conversation with Nicole Papantonio, who's a legal consultant. So she was telling us about the fundamentals, things that we need to think about. What would be the fundamentals of strategy that you would advise an entrepreneur, whether they're pre-start, whether they've got going a little bit, or somebody who's like growing? What would you say to us? And I know that's slightly different because maybe those fundamentals are different for us, but what would you say? Thank you.
That again, there's three different things there: start, ongoing, growing. So the first thing is get your financials in place, get all your legal stuff in place first. Know where you're going. Well, sometimes people don't know. Have a goal. There's always that fundamental, have a goal so you know where you're going. So if, like a captain of a ship, if you set out straight away without knowing your destination, you could end up anywhere. So I'd say to chart your voyage, chart where you're going, so you know how to get there. And so if you're facing any hurdles or any blockages, you know that they're going to be temporary, and then you could go over them, you could go around them, you could go under them, and still continue on your journey. Then I always tell people to have an exit strategy. What does it look like in 15, 10, 20, 15, 20, 30 years when you want to get out of this business? And that will depend on the structure, whether you're going to be self-employed, in a partnership, or limited. So all these are going to be, you're going to have different strategies for each one of those. So always have your legals, always have a second bank account for saving your tax or your VAT money, because people get caught on when that money comes in, they're utilizing it, and they don't have enough money for the VAT or the corporation tax or self-employed tax, income tax. So have something like that in place as well. So 2 bank accounts, one your normal operational one a savings one. The legal work, somebody else will cover that, so I'm not going to cover that. But always be prepared. Cover yourself with the legalities. If you're doing something with somebody, have an agreement in place, signed, dated, so you've got paperwork. So that's going to be very important as well going forward for your strategy. Be flexible. I know I'm covering a bit of thing. Be flexible, because right now businesses and individuals business are very flexible. So you have to flex with them. Sometimes people want meetings outside of the 9-5 window. So you have to be prepared to do that as well, to meet their demand. So you have to meet the client's demand. Whatever they want, can you fulfill it, or are you prepared to fulfill it? So yeah, these are the little blocks which I would say just have in place once you've gone on your journey. Remember, I always tell people that you are running a partnership. Now, the partnership is going to be you and the boys in blue. The boys in blue being the HMRC. They will want their pound of flesh at every point, every step of your journey. So just be aware of that. So you're not just working for yourself. You have to put aside some fees to cover for your future tax liabilities and obligations. Another thing is I like the thing where you're meeting lots of different people. So lots of different people. That particular person, you may not do business with that person. However, that person may know somebody or a group of people who will be able to help you on your journey and toward your goal. So do not brush off anybody, speak to everybody, be genuine, be authentic. And that's another thing, be authentic. And then whoever you meet will be the start of another, it's like a pyramid. Whoever you meet is at the top of the pyramid of who they know and who they know and who they know. So it could be bigger than bigger than you know. Don't brush off anybody. That's what I'm trying to say. But that's judging the book by its cover.
Andrew, you always share so much value, but I want to just go back to the beginning of what you said there, which I know that you talked about the strategy, which is fantastic. And the actual name of this podcast is called Smart Growth Starts with Strategy. But you then said the exit strategy, which is incredible. So start with the end in mind, i.e., as you know, and it's part of my little strap line as well, creating that family legacy is something that the Seeds community is here to support self-employed mums and dads to do, and also those of you that are working within a legal partnership. So I don't mind if it's brothers and sisters, cousins, whatever it is, but I do think, if Nicole was on this call and you've mentioned it yourself about legal protection, you still need to have those legal parameters, even when you're working with your loved ones. Even if it's two best friends that have set up a business, make sure that you've got the legal foundations there. But exit strategy is very interesting, and the reason why I'm mentioning it is I've just spoken today with a lady who will be helping me out. Oh, wow. If you was listening to our conversation, so she's going to be helping me with the operations of, let's call it the HQ of everything that I'm doing. And I already told her that my granddaughter, who's also home educated, will be part of her schooling, and she'll be sitting in on some of these conversations. Why? Because she's part of my exit strategy, Andrew. Why am I doing all of this stuff? Okay. I know my vision. I know, like you said, where are you heading? I know where I'm heading to, but actually part of that means with my granddaughter, who's only 10 and is already learning about stocks and shares. I mean, I was so impressed. She had this big, thick book. I was like, what? You're going to meet her, Andrew, in May.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, get her on this call, even if, in fact, I went to this seminar the other day, and this woman said, yes, think about the next generation, bring them in early, but when you do, you give them strict instructions that they're not allowed to speak to anybody. They have to observe everything that you're doing, and then they have to give you feedback at the end of your conversations. And I thought, wow, what a brilliant way to do this. And we've already had this chat, because exit strategy for me is about my family. That succession planning, I'm thinking about it now. So for any of you who are listening in, if you do have family, you might not have children, your own children, but Nicole and I spoke about it yesterday. You may want to get your brother involved, get your sister involved. It may be, again, a close friend that you're thinking, do you know what? I really like the way how your young son or daughter is thinking, and I want to get them involved in my business. Bring them in early. But I'll go back to you, Andrew. We've got Kay come back on another question.
You're going to have to read that to me because my eyes are really bad.
It's true. Through meeting Vanessa, I met Andrew. I've introduced you both to others too. Who knows what comes next? So Kate is talking about the point that you made there about when you meet somebody, they might not be the person who is for you, but you don't know who they know. And what was interesting is Kay met Andrew last year when she ran a masterclass at last year's annual event, and I know that you two have got a really good working relationship now, so it's fantastic. And I'm just so excited by all of these stories, and who knows what comes next. I love that. Well done, Kay. I love that.
So without knowing it, you have been the catalyst to many of these little small things going on. So through you, I met Kay. Through Kay, I've met a couple of other people, and so it goes on for that triangle.
I love it.
Yeah, and I'm there's so much we can do together. I've seen you grow from strength to strength over this last year.
In 12 months.
In 12 months, yeah. And the thing is, you already talked about it last year, and you knew where you were going, and so you're on your journey. And unfortunately, you're going to have to strip off some things and get rid of other things which do not help you on that journey. Which I know one of the things you've actually dropped off.
Hey.
And I'm sure
you have to be brave enough to do that, Andrew.
Definitely.
And like you said, going back to the point, so we've got a hi from Josh Doughty. Hi, Josh. Thank you so much for tuning in from YouTube. I really love that. Josh, if you have a question for us, please do leave us a question. But you said, think about how you're leaving people as well, Andrew. I like to end when I say in peace, love, and with grace. You don't slam the door behind you because you don't know when you might need that door to be opened again.
And why would you? Because why would you? Because you leave them in peace.
Yes.
Once you walk away, you leave that door. You leave them in peace. Again, it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
And whatever you give out, you'll get back. I think I've said this to you before. Whatever you give out, you'll get back 10 times. Yeah, the value that you've given out. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of giving, because in giving you are actually receiving. And that's come to me many times, and in different examples in different places.
Yeah. And I feel like your character as well, Andrew, you can tell you're just such a heart-led man. I mean, this program is called Leading with Heart. So I love this. We've got more people saying hi and giving us all blessings. So I'm going to read them out. We've got Kate here saying, like you, my business started due to family and will become their legacy. I love that. I love, because I know Kate's a grandmother as well, like myself, when you are thinking about that next generation. So it's absolutely wonderful. Let's read some more of these out. So thank you, Colin. We've got Colin tuning in from YouTube. He said, God bless you all. God bless you too as well, Colin. What a wonderful message to receive, because we are thinking about our next generations. We're talking about friendships as well. We're talking about the support system. We haven't touched on sales really, but I think what you've said there in terms of think about running a partnership with HMRC. Okay. Right. So that was a very strong message for any of us.
I'll tell you why I said that, because it's not a proper partnership. It's a silent partnership. Right. They are the silent partner. They are sitting down there for the whole of the year. And then they will come at the end of the year and say, okay, where's our part? Then thank you very much. Woo! We want our part. So that's why I said I call it a silent partnership. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to talk about the next E now, and we're going to touch on enterprise growth. We've got Kay coming back saying she's so glad she caught this conversation awesome. I think it's our energy, Andrew, because I love being around you. I say to Andrew, he's like an uncle to me. You are. You're just so nice. Uncle. I mean, when people. Again, I'm probably going off on a tangent a little bit now, but I feel like in business as well, you are going to meet people that you just naturally get on with, you vibe with them. And again, you said it before, it's about what you're giving. Don't think about what you're going to receive. Okay. So all these little things that you said through Kay, now you're meeting other people. I love those stories. I think it's wonderful. So let's talk about enterprise growth, Andrew. I mean, you are supporting entrepreneurs. Can you talk to us around maybe some of your clients that you've been with for a number of years, where you've actually seen how they've grown, and maybe give us some guidance on the things that you've noticed that they did, which would be good for us to think about ourselves, please?
Here's something which will frighten some people as well. I say, do not be frightened to get rid of some clients. The reason I say that is because some of these clients will hinder you. They'll take away your essence. They'll try and take away your essence, take away your time, and they suck out your energy. And you'll find them. Yeah, they don't know. You won't find them. They will reveal themselves to you. And over the course of the last few years, when I first done it, like I called it a purge. When I first done it, I got rid of a few clients, and I felt good. I actually felt good. Well, thank goodness, because they were energy sappers. Then I've got other clients who give me energy. I just can't wait to, when they phone, boom, I'm on that phone straight away. Everything else stops. And and so you've got those types of clients, and those types of clients will help you grow. You help them, they help you, and they will be your marketers, because they will spread the word of the good things that you are doing for them. And so when a person which is referred by them comes to you, you don't have to sell anything. They've already been sold by your client. So again, it's because you've taken time, energy, and you've given them purpose, help them with their work. They are helping you. They help you with yours. Yeah. Now, what was the question?
It's fine. We're talking about enterprise growth, and actually, I want to just mention one of your clients who actually introduced you to the support network where we've met, and he, Premji, he's such a good example, because obviously he was saying, "Oh, you've got to meet my accountant. You've got to meet my accountant." And obviously, you even said from the other side, he was inviting you a lot into the networking meetings, and you were like, "Oh, I don't really need to go networking."
I want to bother with that.
Are you glad that you took him up on that invitation?
Again, yes, a big fat yes. I've met you, I've met Kay and others. Again, this is I'm supposed to live with what I preach. He was inviting me so many times, and I resisted for a long time. I said, "Why would I want to do that? I don't want to go to no network. I don't want to network with anybody." That was me trying to shirk it off. But as soon as I went there, I went, "Hey, man, I like this. Yeah, I like this." And soon after that, it was your. In fact, you were the first. I said, "I love that. Who's that? Seed of community." And I just saw it straight away. If you remember, I said, "I love that word." Yeah. And then I moved from there, went to your seminar, met Kay. And now I'm doing stuff with Kay. Kay's a very clever woman, that one, isn't she?
She's a brain.
Very clever woman, that one. Yeah.
Very
talented, very talented
big
as well.
Big thinker.
Yeah.
But also, let's now talk about, because we're talking about enterprise growth. So I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to talk about this year's Seeds of Unlimited Success, coming back on Saturday, the 23rd of May at Eastwood Hall. Now, you have got 2 roles this year, Andrew. So let's just set the scene. Everybody, last year, Andrew took me up on my offer to be an exhibitor at the event. And this year, I've said to Andrew, would you like to do a masterclass? So you're doing a masterclass, Ignite Your Flame. What a title. Andrew, do you want to tell us a little bit about that masterclass, please?
Well, each one of us is motivated by something, and that will be. It doesn't matter what you might be motivated by: money, your contact, somebody you meet, something you've done, something you haven't done, and that's where you ignite. You get ignited by something or someone, or and so from that ignition, you then have to add fuel. So now you're adding commitment, you're adding some work, you're adding something to bring that ignition to like a light flame. Now, as you're flaming like this, you then add more stuff, you add in all sorts of stuff, and then that flame becomes a big flame. And you've ignited something in, which started your fire. Somebody may have said something to you, and you said, hold on a second, I'm going to use that as fuel to do the things that they said I can't do. Yeah. Or you're adding fuel, and you've added another part of your business. You're adding fuel, then you're adding more motivation. Then that motivation, you motivate others as well to do stuff. So now you've ignited somebody else's flame, and something goes on. They can ignite somebody else's flame, and what have you lost? Nothing. Yeah. So it's this thing of the art of giving. So you become motivated, motivation, then become motivational. So you move through like a transition, and that's what ignite your flame is. What is going to ignite your flame? What has somebody said? What has somebody not said? What has somebody done which will ignite your flame? Something you wish you had started. Somebody say, you know what, I'm going to start this. And you said, wait a second, that was my idea. Let me start it tomorrow. Because remember, it's something which it's the first mover's advantage. Whoever comes to the market first. Yeah. So you can do that by just speaking to people and having the motivation, putting the work in. So that's the ignition. Like you can tell,
lit up.
Vanessa, just lit me and you get fired.
Listen to this. We've already got Colin. He was so touched by what you've said then. Colin for you has written very beautifully said. And as I was listening, I was thinking, going back to the S for support network, yes, we can light the flame, but you have to have the right support network, because you don't want to burn the place down. Because if you've got the... I'm sorry, I'm a fire side. I am a fire side.
Go, Vanessa.
But what I was thinking is, if you've got the right support network, then they are going to help you to actually, here's somebody in my support network is coming through. They are going to help you to make sure that you are not going to, like I said, make mistakes, which will cost you money. I am going to just bring in this little thing here. Thank you so much for that, Colin. I love that. Let me introduce you. You're going to hear, I can't wait to introduce you to this young man, Ernest Henry. Now, I didn't say his surname out loud because I might be pronouncing it wrong. I say it myself.
Nice name.
I'm not saying it out loud. A wonderful young man. He's based in Ghana. Okay, so Ernest has put here, very insightful conversation. Great job. Thank you, Ernest. Can't wait to catch up with you later on this afternoon. Ernest has supported me when I say taking me onto a different timeline, Andrew. Wait until I show you the application, the digital platform that this young man in Ghana has supported me to develop in 21 days, I may ask. Here's Zanta poking through. Andrew, carry on this conversation, please, around economic growth, enterprise growth. Thank you.
Okay, so the growth can go how you grow? You can grow in a couple of ways. You can grow personally, or your business can grow. So it's a business development. So you got a person. I always say there's always a personal development where you grow yourself. You put in effort. You add on more skills and this experience, or you get business development. So you're developing your business. I also have another one which I call product development. So now you're developing the type of products and services that you offer out to the market. So there's three things, and this where I help people to do all three. So I've merged the three: personal development, product development, and business development in part of my coaching business there. So again, this has come from people I've met, people that some of my clients, which are great. I've got a whole different type of clients. Some of them are on, if you look at a line, some of them are along the line, some are at the beginning, some are in the middle, and some are really at this end here. And it's those people that you pick up all the little tips. As an accountant, tax advisor, business development person, you look at the things that are working and you say, oh, that's good. And you could help other people. You take some of those elements and help somebody else develop their business based on what has already worked in somebody else's business. So it's just not reinventing the wheel, just maybe taking that wheel, soften it a bit and put it on somebody else's wheel, which needs help, which has gone down. So I like that. Yeah, somebody's wheel's gone down. You've taken somebody else's wheel, manipulated it, and put it on there, so they can now have that smooth transition from where they are to where they were to here to where they want to be. So it's
but what I love of what you've just said, you said personal development.
Yes,
because we're going to go into the next E actually, which is energy alignment. Personal development is so important. So as a well-being healer, I've started to speak more about the business owner being the first pillar of the business. Okay. Now, yes, well-being is our obvious things, our health and our well-being. But personal development, what Andrew's just said, is about how you are developing your mind. Okay. Do you know, Andrew, some people would not even pick up a book. Jim Rohn said, the book you won't read will not help you. And I just think to myself, like, come on, if you don't like reading, there are audio books, people listen to podcasts. People, I don't think they laugh at me like they think I'm stupid, but they can't believe when I say I don't have a television. It is a true story. I don't have a television. What I have is I use my mind. I always have books. So I run a Sunday club here. We're reading Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. We've nearly finished that. At the back there, Think and Grow Rich. I've read Think and Grow Rich, Andrew. I can't remember how many times now. I've read it more than 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm running the mastermind concept that Napoleon Hill talks about. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not kind of telling people what they should do. I'm telling you what I do. Okay. This is all part of what I describe as energy alignment. I get energy alignment from good ideas, from listening to people that are way, 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 way more advanced, more successful than me. Andrew's just spoken about those wheels. Not everything you're going to hear do you need to run with, do you need to implement? No, but be open-minded enough to listen, because that one idea may change your fortune in the future. I'll go back to you, Andrew.
I love the idea of 2 things. One, when I left home, I didn't have a TV for years. All I did was listen to music. And now I just love music all the time. Yeah, different types of music. I never had a TV, so I wasn't programmed into what these people are watching now. I'm not affiliated to any, like EastEnders. Remember, people had to every night they were sitting watching EastEnders and EastEnders or Crossroads or Coronation Street. If you remember all those. I did watch Underbuses and Benny Hill. I love that kind of stuff because they were funny, yeah. But stuff which soaps and all those kind of stuff, I was not in, because I was into books. Yeah. I used to love books. The Richest Man in Babylon. That's another
Oh,
good
I've read
one.
that.
I've read
It
many times.
somewhere.
I just love that one.
Many times.
Many times. And other books as well. If any books come out, I want to read it.
Yes.
Highlight in red, green, but that's all the highlighted salient points, and then I could just flip through it later.
Books.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of books, is it my time? What does that say? Talking about a leadership session.
I just wanted to go off camera because I didn't want them
yes,
to
I would
getting
do.
up.
Yeah.
But Andrew is an author,
Yes, Kate.
as he said. So he has written a book, From Flicker to a Flame, and it's a brilliant read. And, again, Andrew, maybe we won't have time today when you talk about how this book came about. But, you've written it in such a way that somebody can pick this up. I do have a question for you, though. Have you put this into an audio format yet?
Yes, that should be audio format. Yeah, I mean that was my first book, and I remember sitting reading it into the microphone.
Okay, so, yeah. Fantastic.
And don't forget my book of collections. Yeah,
I know. Well,
did I give you that one?
No, I didn't. But I can get it from you in May. Yeah. We've got another comment from Kay, who's also an author. Kay put, talking about big thinking, I have a leadership session idea that I would love Andrew to collaborate on. Think tank style learning. Andrew, wow, you have got an opportunity waiting for you there. And yes, Kate is an author herself. Andrew, do you know, I haven't yet published a book, but I have written a chapter in a book, and that will be coming out next year.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So the next thing, so put it this way, this time next year when I'm promoting next year's event, you'll hear me talking about a book, and maybe by then I don't think my first title will be published, but I am writing my own first book, actually. I haven't written anything for about a month or so, but something's coming through. But again, this is all about energy alignment because, for me, and legacy, both you and Kate as authors, you've got those ideas, you've taken your energy and you've put it into something so that you can pass on. Kay's even written it there, paying it forwards. So we can pay it forwards in our books, in our ideas. I love doing these podcasts because, Andrew, thinking about me being an old woman, and my granddaughters, and maybe there's more grandchildren. Yeah. I can't wait to kind of if God spares my life, basically, I want to kind of listen to the feedback that they will give me when they watch these type of interviews, and they say, "Oh, Nanny, I didn't know that you was," it's all part of legacy building, and this is how we can share our energy with the world through books, through podcasts. Get creative. There's so many different ways that you can actually leave a legacy here. I'm not saying don't watch television, but I will say things like the news, don't get too kind of caught up. I really don't know what's happening in the world. And I did say to myself the other day, should I know what's happening in the world? And I thought, no, because Vanessa, you're vibrating on such a high level. I think whatever's happening is just going to pull your energy down. So just let them get on with it.
Now, here's the thing I'd put in. Is it imitation? Imitate. Right. I learn from everybody. Although it's books and whatever, I learn from everybody. You and Kay, I've learned so much in this 1 year. I mean, 1, tenacity. 2, work ethics. Both of you work hard. And my second book was inspired. My second book called Collections, which is a collection of poems, was inspired by Kay Reeve, because she did one. And I went, oh my gosh, if you can do a book of poems, then I could do that. And if Vanessa can do this group, I could. And so you guys have inspired me. And so I know that learning never stops. Learning never stops. Because this is supposed to be my retirement. I'm part retired, So
Are you
it's the best.
semi-retired? You look good.
I've been
You look
semi-retired. Nivea and cocoa
Nivea.
butter. Nivea and cocoa butter.
I've got some Nivea.
What's that guy?
Andrew, so now we're talking about energy alignment. But let's move the conversation on a bit more. So we're on the first D here, which is I'm going to talk about deeper discovery today. Okay. And I'm going to read out Ernest's mention here. So thank you, Ernest. Ernest writes, Vanessa, I truly appreciate your kind words, but I have to return the credit. You're the real driver behind this. The clarity, alignment, and trust you bring make it possible for me to deliver at this level. It's genuinely a pleasure working with you. That is deeper discovery. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Thank you so much for that, Ernest. Really, really enjoy working with him as well. Deeper discovery. What would you say about all of that, Andrew? You know, again, you're supporting people with their ideas. Have I gone off?
No, I can hear you.
I think I cut out a little bit. You're supporting people with their ideas. You're supporting them once they get going. You're making, I mean, what you said there, 2 bank accounts, it may sound simple, but if you've got a big vision and you are serious about this thing called enterprise and making money, then you want to be having someone like Andrew on your team who can tell you those very simple things to do right from the beginning. Deeper discovery, Andrew. What does that mean to you, please?
Deeper discovery. That's, again, that in itself is deep. It's asking the questions, why, and then asking it again. Why have you done that? So yes, you've done that, but why? And it's finding the deepest why for your movement, for the things that you do. Yeah, so which will make you think out of the box. Not just out of the box, in the box, out of the box, around the box, under the box. Yeah. So it's not just basically not surface level thinking. It's a deeper meaning where you can go into yourself, do some deep reflections. That's how I personally think. It's like going in an elevator, isn't it? You go in an elevator and you press a button. You can go to the ground floor, or you can go to the lower floor, or you can go to the basement. And it's at that basement level that you're open to the elements. You can learn more things, come to, you know, you could take on more, and then you can get back in the elevator and go back to the level that you were at. Yeah. And then you could utilize whatever you've learned at that deep level. So that's how I feel. That's how I'm thinking.
I love that. You know, again, for me, this is a part of ascension. Going back to what you said around personal development, we're all on our own journey here. Now, you can go as deep as you want. Somebody said something to me once. I can't remember what they actually said. And I went, no, I'm as deep as the ocean. Because the thing is, I know that I am a deep thinker. And I know that I bring in as much as myself into different situations. So, Andrew, I'm going to throw this back to you. The S, for our final part of our conversation here, we can talk about systems and operations, or we can talk about succession planning. It's up to you. Oh,
my lord! Oh my lord! Let's do succession planning. Let's do succession planning.
Okay. So I was just shuffling just before. I did ask Andrew if he was all right to have a message from the guardian angels. So we will do succession planning, and then I want you to think about the message you would like to ask the guardian angels. I did a quick, tapped in to the energy, and we got prayer. How I think that's in so much alignment with succession planning, because it is my prayer, it is my wish to create a successful enterprise that I can pass on to the next generation. So, Andrew, you come back with what you want to tell us around succession planning, and then I will read out this message.
What is your legacy? What do you want people to know about you once you are not here? Because within 100 years' time, will your name be around? Would your name be aligned with something? What are you going to leave behind that people can say, you know what, that person, if they did this, they done that. Yeah, so you're still alive 100 years time. Yeah. like 1060s, what Nelson, whatever these people did in the past, people are still talking about the things that they've done, and that was their legacy. But they didn't know they were leaving a legacy. So now you can put something in place, writing a book. That book can last for 100 years, and somebody will know you based on that book. Yeah. So what are you going to leave that people can talk about you in 100 years' time?
100 years. Very good goal. So let's read out this prayer then. So it says, Dear Guardian Angel, help me to be flexible in my attitudes and beliefs. Help me not to fear the transient nature of life. Help me to remember the eternal light which emanates from my soul, and the eternal light which emanates from the heart of every living thing. Help me to remember that I am eternally guided and loved by God and all creation. That is absolutely amazing. You use the word be flexible in the first part of your conversation. We have Kay coming in here. What did she put? She's put prayer. Okay, she said multi. Prayer is so multi-dimensional, with thanks for the past, gratitude for now, and drive for the future. So much mindset work exists in prayer. Thank you, Kay. I love that. The power of prayer. So, Andrew, would you like to think about something that you want to ask the guardian angels? It is quite difficult to shuffle these, but I'll do my best. So tap into the energy. You don't have to tell us. It's very difficult to. I love the messages, but they're very difficult to shuffle.
Am I supposed to be? So I'm supposed to.
You don't have to say it out loud, but you just think about the question that you want to ask. Oh, these are really, really difficult to shuffle. They are. I was on with Nicole yesterday. I don't think I'm going to use these cards again on a live because they're so difficult to shuffle. And let's see what comes through. Oh, let's see. Believe. We'll take that one. Believe. Okay. Be open to all possibilities and opportunities. Let go of preconceived ideas. There's nothing to fear. You are constantly surrounded by love. Start to believe in yourself and trust your instincts. Wondrous possibilities and opportunities abound, provided you are flexible and retain an open heart and mind. Believe all is possible. That word again, Andrew. Wow. I don't know if that resonated with what you were actually asking for, because these are so difficult to shuffle.
Well, what happens is, whatever I was thinking about or whatever card you pick, you will mold that card and the thing to whatever you're thinking about. So again,
I don't know what you're thinking about. I'm not a mind reader.
That's what I'm saying. That's the power. That's the power of the mind. So I could have been thinking about all sorts of stuff. Going shopping. Yeah.
Going shopping. So you believe that you're going to be flexible?
Be flexible, yeah. Am I going to go to Sainsbury's, Morrison's, or Marks and Sparks?
You know what I mean? Sparks.
Is it Marks and Sparks? John Lewis or whatever, yeah?
Do you know what? Yeah. I think with those cards, I think I wanted to use them on the live, but they're so difficult to shuffle. With my other cards, because they're like a square, a rectangle, it's easy to work with them. But thank you for letting me bring in the angels on that one. Succession planning. So what I wanted to say around succession planning is whatever you, and I think I'm going to bring it back to this card, believe, actually, whatever you're wanting to do. So thank you so much for everyone who's listened in on this live conversation. I trust that you have enjoyed the chat. I always get a vibe with Andrew when we're doing these chats. We've had lots of engagement. So I want to say around succession planning and this card that popped out here, believe. You know, the card says be open to possibilities and opportunities. If you do have an idea, if you're working on something at the moment and you do, you know, we spoke about family and what family may mean to you. If you really believe in yourself and if you get around the right people and if you actually take the time to think about the strategy, remember this conversation is about smart growth starts with strategy. Andrew told us to think about the exit strategy as well. That's all part of your succession planning. So you have to believe in yourself and never give up, even when you are going through those challenges. Myself, as a working mom, entrepreneur, do you think that I just sit here and it all just happens like this? No, it doesn't. There are many, many times when I am really quite, I'll be nervous, I'll be worried, I will cry, I will have moments where I'm doubting myself, but I pull it back and I believe in my vision. I believe in the power of prayer, which came through before. And I believe that I am surrounded by beautiful souls such as Andrew. You definitely motivate me and keep me going. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Can I just add, again, with yourself, with Kay, with others, years ago, I was always told, oh, just go with one thing, just do one thing. But then you say, hold on a minute, why can't I do two? Why can't I do three? Why can't you? And then that brings me, roll it to the good book about the talents, where certain people were left with one talent. Somebody was left with one talent. Everybody was given one talent. One guy with that talent, he squandered it, so he lost it. Another guy, I can't remember what the story goes, one doubled it, but one tripled it. Yeah, one lost it, one doubled it, one tripled it, or something like that. It's with talents. And so he was given more talents because he just didn't sit on his talent. And that's, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but
I actually understand what you're saying.
Why just go with one talent? Why do two? Why not 3, 4, 5 things? Because once you do 5, you can do 10. For those who get more, you're given more because you know what to do with it.
I've got to go back to Jim Rohn when he talks about, being the shepherd as well, because if you can actually watch what you're doing and you can be there for the small numbers, you will be given opportunities to be a leader of bigger numbers. Kay said, we believe in you. So I think that's a message for both of us, but equally, we believe in you, Kay. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So Andrew, I've absolutely loved this conversation. You're always going to be back on this podcast. I'm going to find a reason to talk to you. And what I want to do is I just want to plug something that I'm working on. Andrew said, why work on one thing? Okay, so I've already spoken about this year's event. I will leave the link for this year's event wherever you are watching this. But I also want to say that on the 23rd of May will be the first official launch of Legacy Ledger. It is a business magazine that I am working on. I've been building an ecosystem over the last year. Andrew's going to be writing an article in there. Kay's got an article in there. There's people that I've interviewed already who are writing, or they've already written articles. The design team is working on those articles right now. The design, in fact, I've already had a message from the designer today, and I know I need to respond to him. Because when you have an idea and you know how to execute the idea, you know how to get the right people behind you, you know how to actually manage the resources, okay, so the idea comes to life, big things can happen. So I'm going to leave it there. Andrew, thank you so much for being on this call. Everybody who's contributed with your comments, your blessings, I've loved all of it. Thank you so much. Please keep talking to me with the comments. I will check the comments. Andrew, he's not very good on LinkedIn, but I will get him to comments on LinkedIn, or I'll let him know about the comments that you've left. We've loved being part of this conversation with you. Thank you so much, Andrew. Andrew, I'm going to see you. I don't know if I'm going to see you at a networking event. Am I going to see you in Nottingham next week?
Is it next week? Well, let me look at my diary. I
Yeah.
will have a look. Yeah.
Okay. If not, I will see you in May, because you know the 23rd of the May is just around the corner. So thank you everyone for the watching the live stream. If you've watched the replay, please still leave us a comment and let us know that you are here. Take care of yourself and speak soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for the comments, everybody.
Yay.
Thanks, Kay.
Yeah, thanks, Kay.
And yes to that idea that you were given.
Ooh, Kay got a yes live
Yes,
on the call here. So again, this time next year, we'll be talking about how that idea was formulated on this call. Watch this space. See you later, everyone.
Bye. Yeah.